The Princess and the Pea. Once upon a time, in a land of gentle slopes and shimmering streams, there dwelled a young royal son. He possessed wisdom, compassion, and earned the respect of everyone. Yet within his chest burned a singular wish: to wed an authentic princess. You might wonder, what defines an authentic princess? Certainly every princess wears tiaras and elegant dresses, rides in golden coaches, and graces formal dinners with her presence. However, according to the prince's mother, the monarch, an authentic princess was something much more uncommon. An authentic princess, my child, cannot be judged by tiaras or gemstones. Her royal nature exists in her essence, in compassion, truthfulness, and most importantly, delicacy of feeling. The prince absorbed these words carefully. He yearned not for wealth, but for a companion pure in character. Therefore, with determination and optimism, he readied himself to embark on a quest to discover her. The prince ventured to distant places. He voyaged over oceans that shone like melted sapphires. He ascended peaks where the atmosphere was so rarefied that even birds of prey appeared to struggle for breath. He explored bazaars that sparkled with aromatic spices, fine fabrics, and melodies. In every realm he encountered princesses. There was Princess Valeria from the Eastern Isles, who possessed more pearls than could be counted in all the seas. She had beauty, certainly, but when the prince discussed the struggling fishermen of her territory, she simply yawned and requested yet another looking-glass. Next came Princess Seraphina from the northern peaks, whose locks were as pale as fresh snow and whose gaze was as piercing as frost. She could recite verse in multiple tongues, fence with a blade, and strum the harp seemingly all at the same moment. Yet when the prince peered into her soul, he discovered it protected, locked away, as though her crown pressed down more heavily than her happiness allowed. There was also Princess Elara from the Sandy Kingdoms, who welcomed him with merriment that chimed like golden bells. She radiated energy, enthusiasm, and boldness. However, when the prince playfully mentioned her fondness for precious stones, she frowned darkly and retorted, "A princess deserves only the most magnificent jewels. Anything inferior is beneath her station." Repeatedly the prince felt let down. Perhaps no authentic princess existed anywhere in the world. Thus, after almost 12 months of seeking, he journeyed back to his homeland. He brought no betrothed with him, only tales of exotic territories, and a soul more burdened than when he had departed. Initially, the prince's homecoming was a festival. The citizens assembled in the thoroughfares, displaying flags and applauding for their cherished voyager. Soon, though, existence resumed its normal pattern. The prince attempted to occupy himself. He practiced combat with the warriors. He galloped his steed through the open country. He even attended musical performances in the Grand Chamber. Yet during peaceful interludes, he stared from his window toward the distant edge of the world and pondered whether he would ever discover the one he sought. The queen observed him with a mother's worry. She possessed great wisdom, and while she didn't pressure him, she understood his soul ached for something greater. And thus days passed quietly until one tempestuous evening. The prince and the queen relaxed beside the hearth, hearing the tempest assault the fortress walls. Then came an unexpected pounding at the entrance. The sentries paused. Who could possibly be outside on such a night? Yet the knocking persisted, more insistent. The queen gestured for the portals to be unbolted. Standing there, drenched by the deluge, stood a young lady. "I am a princess. Please, might I seek shelter from the weather?" Her name was Princess Elara. She hailed from a faraway territory where her father's sovereignty was endangered by an avaricious relative. To safeguard their subjects, her parents dispatched her secretly, but thieves ambushed her guards. She was abandoned to roam by herself until destiny and the tempest guided her to the prince's fortress. "A princess, you claim? Many declare such status. How can we verify this is accurate? I possess nothing remaining except my identity and my character. Whether you trust me or doubt me, I cannot alter who I truly am." That evening the queen created a trial. She instructed the servants. Position one tiny pea upon the bed frame. Above it, arrange 20 mattresses and 20 quilts. The towering sleeping arrangement rose so elevated that Elara required a climbing ladder to reach it. "Rest peacefully, dear child." Elara expressed gratitude, exhausted beyond measure, and attempted to slumber. But regardless of how she repositioned herself, something pointed dug into her body. Throughout the entire night, Elara shifted restlessly. She exhaled in frustration, adjusted her position, and even rearranged her cushions, yet the irritation persisted. By sunrise, her eyes bore the marks of sleeplessness. "How was your rest, dear child?" "Oh, dreadfully uncomfortable. Something rigid was within that bed. I barely managed to shut my eyes throughout the night." The prince and queen shared a meaningful glance. The trial had succeeded. Only an authentic princess, refined in nature, could detect a pea buried beneath 20 mattresses and 20 quilts. The prince's spirit soared, not simply because of the evidence, but because of Elara's sincerity. She had expressed reality with humble grace, without grumbling or arrogance. Within her gaze, he recognized bravery, compassion, and genuineness, the treasures he had pursued throughout the globe. With time, the prince and princess developed profound affection. They shared laughter, strolled through the flower gardens, and exchanged narratives beside the hearth. The queen offered her approval, satisfied her child had discovered not simply any princess, but an authentic one. Princess Elara dispatched messages to her parents, who felt tremendous relief, and granted their approval as well. Their matrimonial celebration filled the realm with happiness. Chimes sounded, melodies filled the air, and both aristocrats and common folk celebrated with joy. And the pea? It was preserved within a transparent container in the royal vault, a symbol for future generations. Thus, the legend became known far and wide, imparting the lesson that authentic nobility resides not in crowns or fortune, but within the soul and character. The prince and princess, having at last found each other, lived in contentment for all their days.